Hello, everyone. Thanks a lot for joining. I'm welcoming you on day 3 of our Data Integration Week. And today we will be talking about data quality, data governance, data profiling, and all the stuff that makes your data right for the right people. So I'm really happy to welcome our expert for today. That's Matej from MIM, our partner in Slovakia. MIM has a really long history working with Talend products, which are now part of Click portfolio. Yes, and they are doing some amazing projects like the project they have already shared on the first day of our data integration week, the central reference data management platform for various ministries in Slovakia. Now that will be presentation based on their other experience in public sector in Ministry of Education of Slovak Republic. But here I will pass the ball to Matej to present everything.
Thank you, Marina. Hello, everyone, and good morning. It is an honor for me to be here, and it is honor for our company to participate in this event and to present our work and results in regards of data quality improvement for public sector for Ministry of Education in Slovakia with using Talend Data Fabric platform. For the start of my presentation, I would like to underline just some key motivations for solving data quality, or why should the company or why should our organization focus on investing in data quality, or why should we focus, or why should we even care for data quality. It is a little bit of follow-up for those who participated on Monday for that. Having good data or data of top-notch quality is essential for further development of the company, whether it is some exploration of machine learning or automation, but also based on best practices in data quality, there are 4 main pillars or 4 main reasons what is the price of poor data quality. First pillar is the cost associated with diagnostics and resolving data errors. Once we have poor data quality, or our organization doesn't have the required data quality, it might be very expensive to try to fix it, whether it is cost related to labor for the human interaction with it, or it is an extra investment in the system modification, some workarounds, and testing all these changes related to activities which were caused by the poor data quality or some data errors. Second motivation or second main pillar for investing in data quality is the increased cost of obtaining objective information. If we have inconsistent or unreliable data, or the data is of substandard quality, it is pressure and it is increasement of the cost when we want to obtain the solid information or objective information for further development of our company or the strategy. It also can lead into inefficiency in our process management, whether it is processes which are already established in our organization, or it might be the cost of inefficiently managing processes which are to be developed. Third main reason or third main pillar of motivation for investing in data quality is the cost of incorrect business decisions. If in our company we usually, or in the companies or organizations, we usually make strategic decision or strategic foresight based on data we already have or were researched somehow. If this data is of substandard quality, or the data quality is poor, our strategic foresight and the business decision will be affected of or will be affected by the poor data quality. Part of this is also missed opportunities. If we have data of poor data quality, we might just miss some opportunities, some business opportunities which are there, which we could see in our data. However, if the data quality is poor, we might miss these opportunities. And for motivation, fourth pivotal motivation is the loss of confidence and trust. It is loss of confidence, trust of our customers or our partners or our suppliers. And we all know from the business perspective, when losing trust, it is very easy to lose the trust. It is very, very hard to gain one. There is also associated cost of implementing and operation of alternate approach and solution. If there is a poor data quality, we lose the trust. Implementing new procedures, training new people how to prevent it is much more costlier, is much more expensive than if the data quality was invested before and if the data quality was high, was of high standard before. In our company, we focus on data quality solutions for different projects, different modules, and different companies. Very specific field of it is the public sector. And as part of different projects, we were doing research for our customer, which platform should be used. There is plenty of platforms, whether they are licensed or open source on the market. And here are some key factors for using Talend as platform for data quality improvement. First of all, it is low code and connection solution. As it was mentioned before, Talend offers huge variety and compatibility with a range of data sources, whether you are using MySQL, PostgreSQL, Microsoft SQL database, and many more. Talend is already developed to connect there and be compatible with it. And also, as it was mentioned, Talend is low-code solution, so it is very intuitive when we want to work with data and we want to focus on data quality. We don't need entire IT team or IT department just to operate the data quality. It is usually, it enables us to refocus the resources into business perspective. So not wasting much time with the IT setup rather than spending the resources, whether it is time or the people or both, into business point of view and how we can deal with the data from business point of view rather than just spending it all on how we do connectivity. Second factor is was why we chose Talend as a platform for data quality improvement was its data profiling capabilities. Talend offers robust built-in data quality profiling options or indicators, which were already developed and can be just freely used and quickly used for the profiling for indicators of data quality and inconsistencies. It is also very easy to customize our own business rule or the own business rules for the companies to check for the patterns, and there is no big need for, again, for a huge IT department who would resolve it. It is mostly focused to work with people with a little bit of IT background, but mostly focusing on data. Third main factor why we chose Talend as a platform for data quality improvement was data stewardship console. It is GUI or it is platform where we can interact, where the data can interact with human interaction, whether it is data stewards and data curators. It is very friendly, user friendly. It is intuitive, and later part of this presentation, I will show a little demo what the Talend Data Stewardship Console looks like, what is the work with like, and it is based on what was implemented for Ministry of Education in Slovakia. Third motivation why to use Talend as platform for data quality improvement is its reporting and management. Talend Talend offers a variety of reporting capabilities, whether it is customizing our own reports, it is managing reports. For example, we want to generate the reports every week, every day, once a month, once a quarter. Talend offers an easy solution and easy management of it as well. So we do not need, again, to put extra resources into managing the data quality reports once we develop them. And final motivation is I call it find and fix, because there are many platforms which help us to profile and focus on data quality, to identify the flaws in data quality. But Talend is unique in a way that it doesn't only offers us an insight of the data quality state, but it offers us also an option to improve, all in the same ecosystem and environment. So this was the motivation why we chose Talend as a platform for improvement of data quality, and why we suggested also to our customers to use it. Again, there are many platforms on the market, but this platform is our preferred because it has many positives. Okay, so we move forward. And what does the life cycle and the management of data quality looks like? It is like almost never-ending circle. Resolving data quality cannot be done in a big boom. Suddenly we fix everything and everything is and our data quality is top-notch forever. It is a never-ending circle which goes with several iterations. And once we are done, we can start working again and again to improve the data quality. We first start with defining the requirements for data quality. It is a step number one. It is a step where we want to assess what is needed for improving data quality. Second step is analyzing and profiling data. What is the actual state of our data? What is the completeness of the tables? If there are some business rules that should be followed but are not? So it is just overall look, what is the state of the data? Third step is identification of cause of poor data quality. Once we found out that some of our data might be of poor quality, usually the company or organization must identify what was the reason. Was it an error on input? Was it caused by migration? Was it caused by merger with different companies and now there are some duplicities? Or general, to assess what caused the poor data quality. Fourth step is development and implementation of data quality procedures. Once we analyze that there is some data inconsistency of the data, is some poor quality, we know what caused it. It is time to fix it. This is the time where companies should come with some use cases or some steps how to improve the data quality. We will show a little bit, I will show a demo with what we implemented for Ministry of Education in Slovakia. And final step is operation and monitoring of data quality solutions. It is time where we monitor how is the data quality improving. Did it improve? Did the implementation of procedure help our cause, or is it stagnating? And again, this circle starts next. So in the following slides, I will focus on these two steps. It is analyzing data profiling, which was done in Talend platform. And in demo, I will show Talend Data Stewardship Console, and I will connect it with the procedure we implemented for Ministry of Slovakia. So initial analysis or data profiling. The main goal was to provide relevant information of data quality of core registry using talent building functions and also custom-made rules. This is just a short overview what it looks like, or what is the flow of working with profiling. First of all, we wanted just some overview, or just very simple overview. What is the state of the data. So we did simple statistics of source data using Talend built-in functions. So again, we didn't have to implement many things. It was just using the function that is already developed in Talend platform. And we were checking for completeness of the tables, for duplicities, for pattern frequencies, and so on. Second, once we already established some view or we had some maybe background, what is data like, we are defining our own business rules. This was more of analytical task. We had to check the legislature requirements, cross authentications to other registries, so we could define the business rules. Third step was the implementation of business rules in Talend, and it allowed us custom definition of our own business rules for the purposes of Ministry of Education in Slovakia. And fourth and final step was the result, with the report of data quality. What is the data quality like? Talend offers us two main reports. It is a basic report, or SS. What is the state of data quality at the given time? Or it offers us also to create evolution reports, which is a perpetual monitoring. What is the state in time? We will see example later, so we can monitor how is the data quality improving through the time. In following slides, I will show example of data profiling using Talend built-in functions. So the very first one is just basic column analysis. It is a graphical interpretation of state of data. Knowing how many duplicities or missing values might give us some insight about the quality of data source we are looking at. Sometimes it is not necessary to have all the unique values, or we are allowed to have some duplicities. Of course, sometimes we do not expect the values to have there, but for certain kind of columns or for certain data sets, it might give us certain insight that, for example, we were not expecting duplicities. However, we found 2 or 3% of the values or the records in the dataset are duplicities, which with big datasets might cause us a little bit of headache when there is 1, 2, 3,000 of duplicities we did not expect. Second Talend built-in data quality indicator is checking for value or pattern frequency. Checking for the pattern frequency might help us to spot some data inconsistency. Especially looking at a lower pattern frequency, it might give us some exceptions which were not expected, and there is just maybe a handful of them in the data set of thousands, but still it is some data inconsistency and poor data quality. In the following example, there is a table which was evaluated as a country of origin, and these letters represent alphanumeric characters, whether it is ASCII characters, special characters. For those of us who are from countries who use special characters in alphabet, this might be useful, or numeric characters. I'd like to focus our attention on row number 6. We can see there that all these rows show us, okay, there are some numeric characters, there might be some special characters, but rows 6 show us that there is a numeric character in the values. And as I mentioned, this is the table of countries of origin, and this might give us a tip, or this might give us a hint that there might be some values which have a numeric character. From the business point of view, there shouldn't be a country with a number in it, but for some reason there was this in the table. So this can give us an insight that some of the data might be faulty, even if it's 0.0 something %. I just like to note that all of this data, it is from the test environment, as we wanted to protect the privacy. So once we assessed the quality of data, we found out that in certain table there were some duplicities in in duplicities in IFO, which is current example. IFO is a unique identifier for physical person. So in particular table, we were not expecting duplicities. However, we found like 9% of the table have the same IFO, which is a duplicity. This gave us this could be a result of previous migration or faulty input. And our goal with using the custom-made business rule was to find out whether this duplicity was true duplicity or was it faulty duplicity. True duplicity means that the one physical person has the same IFO and all other attributes are the same. It is a name, surname, title, date of birth. Inaccurate duplicity means that two or more records share the same IFO, which should be a unique identifier, but one or more attributes are different. There is a discrepancy in the name or surname or date of birth. So thus we created a business rule that showed us how many of the duplicities, which there was almost 7,000. We created a business rule that showed us how many duplicities were the true duplicities, and we can maybe just cut it or later define what to do with it, or were inaccurate duplicities. So from total number of 74,000, we can see that there was 6,855 true duplicities, meaning all the attributes were same, and almost 100 of the duplicities which were faulty ones, meaning it had the same identification, unique identifier, but all other attributes were, or there was at least one attribute that was slightly different. So this is the example of the business rule we developed with our customer to assess the data quality, assess the data state or data quality state in their source database. And here is the example of evolution report. As I mentioned, this is on test environment, so there is not much change, but the evolution report helps us to monitor in long term the improvement of data quality, whether it is, for example, we found that there might be some duplicates which we didn't want, and we need to clear them. And having this evolution report helps to see it through time as whether the situation changed, whether it is improved or it got worse. So this is one of the Talend is one of the few products on the market that offers such report where we can check it through the time and again manage it from central console, which is easy to maintain. So this was the first part, focusing on data profiling as part of assessment of the state of data quality in our source database. And the second part will be focused on improvement. Second part will be more of the demo. It will be focused on, it will be showcase how we use Talend and Talend Data Stewardship for for working with data. Part of this showcase was the procedure we implemented with Ministry of Education in Slovakia, using already existing procedure of identification of addresses. So the goal was to improve the data quality of datasets, datasets of addresses of schools and other school-like establishment and kindergartens, musical schools, and so on, using already existing procedure of automated identification to central registry. Just to explain a little bit, the central registry is, maybe I will follow the next slide. The central registry is a source of the true data. It's a central registry of addresses, and each address should be identified to the central address. So the workflow was very simple. We had to retrieve data, transform it from the source database of Ministry of Education, and transform it. Using Talend's functionality, we were able to send it to outer system. This is also one of the attributes we like to use Talend, it is because it is compatible with other ecosystems as well. It is not only one ecosystem that is compatible with itself, but it can easily communicate with also other tools used in the companies. So we loaded it into a central registry. Central registry is it was mentioned on Monday, central management of reference data. It is the source of the truth. So we took the data from our local database in Ministry of Education, sent it to this central registry of address, and the central registry of address gave us results. Either the result was fully identified, meaning the address is fully correct, or it gave us a result that the address was just semi identified, meaning there is some discrepancy between the address in the central registry and address which is stored in the local database of Ministry of Education. And it also gave us the possible matches which will be required for further human assistance. Just a side note, this central registry or this functionality of identification of the addresses was also developed in Talend, however, in completely different project and completely different module. So once the identification was done, we called again REST services and SOAP services to get it back. Took the semi-identified data and the fully identified data and loaded it into clean database, and the semi-identified data went for further human assistance, meaning manual cleaning in Talend Data Stewardship Console. Now we will follow up with a little demo what the Talend Data Stewardship Console looks like. But before demo, I'd like to just define certain basic terms so we don't get lost when seeing the Data Stewardship Console. When we are talking about cleaning data using Talend Data Stewardship, the first or the basic step is defining the campaign. Campaign is contains all required configuration to asset the correctly how to clean the data, meaning we define the roles, we define the workflow, we define what kind of campaign we are using. Each campaign is assigned data model. In data model, we define the attributes, whether each attribute should be validated against some pattern, whether we check for emptiness, meaning whether the attribute can be empty or not. And each attribute is assigned semantic type, meaning we can define whether the attribute should be integer, date, or our defined regular expression. Maybe it should be some code value from cities, or IBN for those who are from European zone. IBN is the IBAN is the code of the bank, so we can again compare it to some pattern. And each campaign is assigned task. One task is equivalent to one record in database. In our context, it will be the address of the school or school-like establishment. So this is just the overview of what the Talend Data Stewardship Console looks like. I start with the semantic types. Talend offers us whole and wide variety of already predefined semantic types, such as airport or academic profession titles, usually also some cities for regions like France and so on. But we can also add our own semantic types or import them if we have it already in different project. Second step was defining data model. Data model is just setting the attributes, setting what will we check and what are the attributes for our campaign. This is what the overview of the data model looks like. It is just setting the attribute's name and setting each attribute with its identifier, with its type, whether it is integer, string, text, whether we want to allow empty values or we want to check it through some pattern. In type, we can also define the semantic type we developed. We can also set the minimum maximum length, and in case it doesn't work, we will see what it looks like later in demo. Third step is the setting up the campaign or creating campaign, and in campaign settings we can set the basic properties of the campaign, such as type, whether it is arbitration, resolution, or in our case I will show merging campaign of what it looked like. We can define the roles, set up people who have these roles, and create a workflow. Our demo and what we developed for Ministry of Education in Slovakia, it was very simple workflow. The tasks, which is address of school, was instead new, and once it was clean, it was resolved. However, it is customizable, so maybe your company or our different company might like to have a check or the campaign owner check whether it is correct or some different steps. It is all customizable in Talend Data Stewardship Console. And final part is the tasks. Tasks are records which are to be cleaned. So if we would check the tasks, once we loaded the tasks, this is the overview what the task look like, what the campaign looks like, and what is the work with. As you can see, it is very intuitive, very user-friendly when working with tasks. It allows us to work with the task directly. In case we set certain attribute to be mandatory, it show us with this passively aggressive red color that this value is missing, and it doesn't allow us to put this into next phase, meaning resolved, unless there is some value. Talend Data Stewardship also allow us to work with the tasks as a whole, meaning we can change whole column. For example, we can clean the cells with certain value, or we can standardize the values in entire column. We can clean the numeric characters from our column, and so on. Talend Data Stewardship is very easy to work with, especially when we want to filter some kind of data. In this case, I clicked on the region, which are Slovak regions, and I can, by clicking on here I can see the overview, what are the values in the column, and I can easily filter one given column, and already it is filtered, and I can work with the specific part of dataset. As I mentioned, data stewardship allows easy and intuitive navigation. It is filtering tasks, checking the completeness and value overview, and also it gives us overall cleaning options such as simplifying case, removing non-alphanumeric characters, and so on. In following steps, we'll check how to clean one particular record. This, for now, we had just overlook what is the approach to tasks, and in following steps, we will check what the one task look like and how can data steward clean one particular task. So our campaign was merging. I'd like to just give an introduction to three basic terms. It is golden record, source data, or best possible matches. As I mentioned, we had some source data, which was the original data obtained from Ministry of Education in Slovakia, and it was the address of school. Then the central registry gave us best possible matches, meaning that there was some discrepancy, but for 97%, these were the possible matches. These are the records obtained from central registry, and our role as data steward is to decide with some educated insight for the golden record. The golden record from now on will be considered the true source, true data or the valid and correct version which we want in the end. So the look with the one particular task look like that. In this example, in golden record, there is a missing value, which was given on the source. However, in the matches, it was not found. Talend Data Stewardship Console allows the data steward to choose the golden record, whether it is clicking or simply clicking on desired value, or manually overwriting the value based on educated decision of data steward. Finally, when one task is already cleaned, data steward is done with merging and set the golden record. Data steward has an ability to lock the record. Locked record is ready for validation, and we consider it to be in kind of staging or almost done. Once the we have several records locked, the tasks are ready for validation. Validation means changing from the state new to resolved, and from now on we will consider the tasks to be clean and loaded to clean database. As we can see in example, the locked or the cleaned tasks are in green. In case if some company decided to organize the workflow a little differently, the validation would result in maybe double check or similar step. But in our case, it was just changing the state from new to resolved. On clicking on validate, the tasks status changes from new to resolved. Resolved task, we can also Talend Data Stewardship allows us to very easily switch between views on task, whether it is assigned, whether it is based on the state or on the role who is assigned to. Once the tasks are given to state resolved, tasks solver is resolved to unassigned. Task cannot be altered and is read-only, meaning it is already the state we considered clean and we don't want to mess it up any further. Also, each task can be assigned due date, so it is very helpful when we want to prioritize working with this data or when we want to check the speed or the velocity of the data stewards. And each task, when resolved, can be checked, and the history of modifications can be checked by clicking on the task. This is the example of what is the history of the task. It was created, it was set, it was set from new to resolved and so on. So it is also the Talend Data Stewardship also gives us certain insight what was the work done, especially for the purposes of management. So from me, this is everything, and I will be glad for any of your questions.
Yes, Matej, thank you so much. Yes, we have several questions. The first one, it's a little bit extended, but if you can answer, let's answer, or just we can reach out to separately. Where to create reports in Talend? Do we have flexibility to create reports on our choice?
Yes, I believe it is part of when it is created in Talend Studio from data profiling perspective. There are options to create our own analysis, and analysis are part of reports. I strongly advise to take courses, which are some Talend prepared overviews how to work with the data profiling capabilities, and it gives a really good overview. It was part of Talend Academy. It gives a good overview how to create our own reports. And yes, the reports are Flexibility to create reports of our choice. Yes, the Talend gives us opportunity to create records of our choice. We were creating PDF reports, but you can customize this to HTML, some Excel reports, and you can also customize it like giving there your company's logo and so on. And yes. In
Great.
case I didn't answer what you were asking, please feel free to contact me directly. I'll be more than happy to answer all the questions.
Great, thanks, Matej. Another one. What if I have thousands of columns and millions of records? Would I be able to do profiling? And does Talend has any limit on profiling?
When doing profiling, it is advised to split the, let's say you have thousands and thousands of columns. As I said, it was mentioned before, it is not advised to do big boom like profiling on every column at the same time. It is better to split into several records. For example, we were doing 50 columns per millions and millions of records. So it is also better to read. Also, usually the record like this is for several hundred pages. So maybe using the well-known divide and conquer method is better. So maybe take 50 of the columns and analyze it and do the profiling, and even the millions of records. In our production, we are on weekly basis, we are profiling almost 4 million records.
Can we do data profiling in data prep?
I believe there is some capability, but I advise to get Talend Studio and do the profiling from there and define the own analysis from with Talend Data Studio. It is much more capable solution to profiling. We could see that there was some profiling as well in data stewardship. I will just it was giving a certain overview of the data here, but it is advised to use Talend Data Studio.
Thanks a lot. What is considered a clean database?
Very good question. Thank you very much for asking it. As I mentioned, we were loading data from the source database. We got the results. Some of them were like, okay, this data is correct. And Talend Data Stewardship, we cleanse the data. And once we have the data cleansed, we want to do something in it, right? We don't want just to have the data in source database, have it clean, and just leave it somewhere, but usually it is insert loading it into whether in one project it was creating wholly new database which was already clean, or it was updating the existing one with the clean data.
Thank you so much. One more for you. How are data fixed after detecting issues in data quality, and what are the next steps?
Very good question. Yes, well, profiling is giving us overview that there is some issue with the data, and it is on the company, on the analytics, on the business analytics, what to do next with it, right? We have a problem, but there are possible solutions. It is up to company which will decide, okay, we want to clean it. For this purpose, it might be some manual changing in database, or it might be taking the wrong data, looking at them one per one, or it might be even taking the wrong data. For example, as I mentioned, that we found that there are some duplicities or in some faulty duplicities. I'll just go back to example if we have time. And as I mentioned, and in example, we found that there is 9% of data is faulty. We had, for example, 9% of duplicities. It is up to the company whether they will decide, okay, we keep them there, but we will know we have wrong data, or we will delete them, or just load it to some deprecated database just in case. Or what is advised and what is a nice solution which is offered by loading the data into Talend Data Stewardship. For example, the persons which were found which had the same identification but other attributes were different. It is really good use case for the Talend Data Stewardship. Okay, we have about 90, about 100 or 90 records which are possible data quality errors, but usually it is required by, we need human assistance. Is there just a typo in the name? So instead of Matthew, there is just Matt, or Smith, there is one letter missing. So this is really great use case for using Talend Data Stewardship, loading this data to Talend Data Stewardship so the data steward can look at it from the human point of view, because there's just still some limitations for automation of these things.
Thanks a lot. And one more for you. Can this process of updating be done from Data Stewardship Console, or it has to be done separately?
As I mentioned, yeah, good question. It is again how you want to implement it. Talend gave us options to create a job, which was one of the motivations for using Talend. We found some discrepancy and we want to fix it. So we have the clean data in Talend Data Stewardship, and we can just create a job in Talend integration perspective in Studio, which will take the data and load it back into database. This would be operation for 30 minutes, 1 hour. It is very easy, as it is the Talend data quality components are compatible with the entire Talend ecosystem. So I'll just check if I answered this, if I answered the question. Can this person validate? I think yes. The data. We cannot just click somewhere in data stewardship, load it to database. We need to create a job in data integration, but it is matters of minutes, maybe. It's not very hard, which is something really nice about Talend. It is all ecosystem focused on working with data.
Thanks a lot, Matej. Yes, thanks a lot for all the participants. That Q&A was really packed with questions. Thanks a lot. Were really interesting. Looking forward to meeting you on the next day at the same time. We will be discussing data warehouse modernization experience with Talend with our other partner, Promity and Carol Peak. So thanks a lot for you, Matej. Thanks a lot for your participants. And have a nice day to everyone.
Thank you very much, and have a good day.